everyone, it's Jeannie from A1. I'm getting ready to do my homework. So in our sew along today, we were able to stitch out 4 of the 6 blocks for June's tiling scene for home sewn. It came out super cute. My mother-in-law is actually coming over for dinner, and I was like, but Patrick, I gotta stitch more. So I'm gonna do the thing where I go have dinner, I run down, I run up, I come down. There might not be a lot of conversing for this because I might just be running up and down the stairs. So I'm gonna cut off the top 2. Ooh, that is not very much room, but I think we're cutting a little bit outside of the outermost stitch. So you need probably, it could be up to 1/4 inch, right? So things that I've done. Number 1, I am using Hala Shimmer Arctic Black for the quilting. I'm going to show you. And then somebody said something about Kingstar for that's the Hala Shimmer. Can you even see how spectacular that is? There you go. You like the dog hair too? Everything has Momo in it. It is absolutely amazing. I just love Hala Shimmer. Okay, so I did do that. And then, was it Tina? Or was it Cindy? Somebody was like, how about Kingstar for the light bulbs? And so then I went, okay, I've got a gold Hala Shimmer. I use that, and it is absolutely amazing. I had to redo the top row. That's why there might be some icky threads sticking out, because I took them out and then redid those, because I was going to add rhinestones, but the Hala Shimmer looks so good, I'm not going to. It looks amazing. So let's hoop up, and we're going to do the last 2, because hopefully I can get this done and then show it off tomorrow in the live feed. So I'm using the 90-inch muslin, and I cut it for this. I think I cut for this hoop, which is my 7x12. I cut it 11.5 inches wide. When I'm using like my 8-inch hoop, I cut it 12 inches. But this one you can kind of get away with. Watch out for passengers. You want to make sure that like pins and like other stuff in your sewing room doesn't stick to the magnets. I'm booting up my computer. Patrick and I went and had a long lunch with friends of ours that we haven't seen. They've been in town they're from Argentina, and they've been in town for a month, and we've been so busy we haven't been able to see them. So today was the day. Okay, and this, I am going to fold this up just so it doesn't roll under by accident. I like to fold it in like this. I love these, but they're a little hard to squeeze. But I love the big mouth on them. So there we go. I'm ready. Let's go to the machine. Okay, it says, is it okay to resume? I do not want to resume. So we're going to start fresh. I'm going to go to embroidery. I'm going to go to the pocket. And I'm bringing in via design database transfer, which is this button right here. If your machine is a Brother or a Baby Lock, you can do design database transfer. It needs to have wireless capability. So, I wonder if it shows that somewhere on the machine where it shows a Wi-Fi sign. I don't know. You can look it up and go, is my machine Wi-Fi capable? And I'm going to throw away these 2 because we just finished those. To throw away a design, I'm going to go ahead and touch this button, touch the 2 that I don't want anymore, and hit the trash can. And then once you're done, you have to deselect, or you cannot set a design. So this will just keep letting me pick stuff to throw away. I don't want to do that. So I have to touch that again and get rid of those options. And I'm going to go ahead and do this one. This is 5, and let's set it. And I already picked my 7x12 hoop. That's the hoop that I'm using. So I'm going to go to Edit. This is my rotate button. Yours might say the word rotate, and I like to rotate 90 degrees to the right, which will make it upright. And I'm going to scoot it up to the top. Don't go outside that line. that line, because then it'll bump you to a different hoop. It'll say change to a larger hoop. Once you're done with that, you can go ahead and touch add. I'm going to stitch out one at a time, but I'm going to do them in the same hooping in my 7x12. You could do it in your 8x12 if you don't have a 7x12. And I'm going to choose this same amount of muslin, so it's actually maybe ½ an inch more. And now I'm going to choose this design, and I'm going to go ahead and touch set. And again, I'm going to go to edit, my rotate button, rotate 90 to the right, which will make this upright. And this time I'm going to scoot them down. And let's have a little bit of space in between. Perfect. That looks great to me. I'm going to say, okay, I'm not changing anything else. And then once we're done, we can touch the word embroidery. Why am I scooting it to the top? Well, that's going to scoot it up towards the embroidery that's already there. And it's going to save me what's ever here down at the bottom. I rarely, if there's going to be empty space, I rarely leave it in just the middle, so we can really take advantage of all of your muslin or stabilizer, and then there's going to be less waste. Okay, this is a 60-minute stitch out. The other thing that you're going to want to do, how do I know that? Because it tells you right here that this is going to be 60 minutes. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to touch this button, and that button is going to allow you to fast forward steps. And so we can skip steps. First thing it wants to do is the placement stitch for your batting. And I'm going to go ahead and take out, the last thing I had in here was the gold hollow shimmer thread. So I'm going to take that out because I'm done with that. And I'm just going to put any color in, whatever color you want to put in there. You have to be careful if you have light stuff on top and somehow it might shadow through. But this is going to be a dark thread. So I'm going to just put this in. What is this? Silver. Let's put in silver. Silver really looks like light blue to me, like a really, really, really light blue. Okay, placement stitch for the batting. While it's doing that, I'm going to spray my batting and my background piece. So the batting, we cut those, it's in the spreadsheet. We cut the batting to 4.5 by 6 1/4. And then I should have another piece of background fabric. Whoops, not a great view, sorry about that, but we're coming over here anyways. This is my dime spray tent. This is the spray that I use. It's Ganol KK100. I use the economy line. There's like a premium line, or I don't know what the other one's called. Feel your batting. The side that's bumpier, that is the wrong side, and you want that side to go down. And what was I going to say? I spray because I don't want to tape. Do you have to spray? You don't have to spray. Some people don't spray at all. Okay, this next step is the tack down for the batting and the trim. Since we've cut our batting to size, we can skip that. You want to do this step. This is step 3. Don't put anything down yet. You want to put anything down yet. After it stitches this, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put down our background fabric. You don't want to put the batting down because that foot is just going to push around the batting and make a mess of it. Maybe stitch it down and fold it over. And so do this step, do step 1, do step 3, and then we're going to put down our batting and our background fabric. I feel like I should add that to the spreadsheet. Let me get to my computer and I'll do that. Oh, did I already put that in there? Maybe I put that in there. Nope, did not. All right. Grab your piece of batting. I'll pull this back a little bit so you can see it better. It is just absolutely gorgeous here. We were hanging out with our friends so long because they had put an offer in on a house, and we were waiting to hear if they had gotten it. And the realtor wasn't calling, and finally they called back, and I was like, oh, and I was thinking it's not going to be good news, because why wouldn't he have called already? And then it was good news. Okay, let me go ahead and slide that on. So you're just going to put it down. You're going to put your batting inside the middle square, well, the second to the middle square. Then you're going to put this down so you have an equal amount all the way around. And we're going to do the next step, which is step 4, and that's going to be the tack down. So go ahead and do the tack down. 2 minutes into our 61-minute stitch out. And let's get our instructions. This is actually the one that I think will have, oh no. So, you never know which one they're going to show all the instructions for, and they have chosen to show all the instructions for tile 6. So this one, we're still going to go with just the basic instructions. And it is on page number 31. Is it 31? Nope. Sorry. Not 31. This should be tile 5. This is 6. Where's tile 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I don't know why, but I don't have instructions for tile 5. Hang on a second. Okay, not sure why I didn't print that, so I just pulled it up on my computer, and it looks like we're going to go ahead and we should be on quilting, stitch the quilting detail. That's step number 5, so I just don't want to lead you astray, but I don't feel like printing it and redoing my book either, so I'm just going to have it on my computer. So go ahead and stitch the quilting detail. I am doing mine in Hala Shimmer Arctic Black. Overall, it's stitched out great. I did have one issue when I didn't put it in the thread guide. That was a me thing. And then the gold's broken a little bit, but that's when it's, sorry, I'm hitting my filming arm. Filming arm is between me and the machine. And I always compare it to like Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey, like Ghost. Like my arms are wrapped around my filming arm, and so it's hard for me not to hit it. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start, and it's going to do the background quilting. And the next thing it wants you to do is stitch the ground placement line. And that's going to be the brown fabric. So the ground placement line, and it wants you to do all of this in, I think it's shadow. Yes. So get your shadow thread. That's going to be your darker, not your black, but your dark gray. And then you're going to get your ground placement. MOSP, Mocha Spice. And it looks like, I think this is going to be the piece we're putting down right here. Whoop! It broke. Oh, you know why? I know I put it in the thread guide up on the top. So, I don't know how he came out, but he did. So I think I put it in it before too. I did put it on the very end one. And, I mean, he could have looped or something. So, let's just rethread. Not a big deal. I have not been slowing down my speed. I have not been putting in a different needle. I've just been stitching. Lazy embroidery here. Okay, since this screen is already up, I can just hit -10 and we can just start from there. That's why I like this screen. So if something breaks, thread breaks, anything happens, you can just hit your -10 or your minus whole thread step. There's going to be some fire going on. There's a lot happening here. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to put in shadow. Shadow. This is like, I want to finish it just because it's so cute. All right, placement line. And again, this is the piece that you're going to put down. Mine already has SF101 on it. Oh, did I not hit? You know what? I'm famous for not hitting my threading button. And I'm going to start it right from here because I know it's going to go down to the bottom. Sometimes I'll go back. Sometimes I won't. I'll go back if it makes a difference. If it doesn't make a difference, I'm not going back. Okay, lazy embroiderer, get your thin wool mat because I'm going to press it in the hoop. Wow, that goes all the way up. That makes me sad because there's so much cute stitching that you're not going to see. I'm going to unplug the cord. All right, here we go. And I'm just going to pull it forward. And I'm going to get my Matty mat right here. This is the thinner snap hoop ones. And if you want one, you can order one. I'm doing a special on the, just put snap hoop mat special. These are the hoop impresses. And put special and you'll get $15 off the 5x7 and $15 off the 6x10. And then the big bundle's already priced at an amazing sale price. You might want to be over just a little bit, right? Instead of $169.99, it's on sale for $99.99, which is great, right? So if you want to get a whole bundle, that's what I did, is I got the bundle. All right, this is my Clover iron, and I'm using it with the spade, which is the bigger one. This doesn't come with it unless you buy it in the big set. Just a little bit right here. I don't know why he doesn't want to stick right here, but... So I did just heat it up. I feel like I need to heat this up for like 10 minutes to really get it to work well. And I have been doing it on high. If you're doing it on high, you've got to be careful because it can scorch your fabric. Okay, that's good enough, I think. I'm going to remove my mat. I'm going to slide this back on. Don't forget to remove your mat. And I'm going to skip the next step. This is going to be your tack down and trim, but I already cut mine to size, so I'm going to do the next step. That's going to be a placement stitch because it's sky blue. Does not mean that you're supposed to put sky blue in there. It just means that is a placement stitch. I think all of these are in... This one is the stitch the trailer placement line. And then we're going to place your trailer fabric, which is going to be the Caribbean blue. I'm going to fuse it down. Otherwise, you're going to do your tack down and trim right now. There we go. I'm going to put this on here. Tack down and trim. Let's get this out of the way. The other thing this iron can do when it's really hot is it can, how do I know? It can melt your thread. So definitely just be careful. I know my mat is like right under there. You don't want to use really thick mats, especially when the hoop is still on. You don't want to be pushing up. Why aren't you sticking? Why aren't you sticking down there? Okay, I think we're good. All right, next step, stitch the stream placement line. If you got your kits from us, you should have a kind of rectangular piece of blue felt. I forgot it in some of your kits, so drop me a message and I will pop a piece in the mail for you if you need it. So it wasn't a lot of you, but it was some of you. So I'm going to skip the next step. That is, the next step is the tack down and trim. And now we're going to do this one. It wants you to do it in, what's the X? The X is that going to be steel blue? The X is steel blue. Grab your steel blue. Here you are. It's pretty blue right here. And then your blue felt. There were two different felts that we kit. One was actually really like the original one I put in there because it was a little bit kind of, I'd say a little bit darker and felt more nighttime to me. And then we did put, once we got the Kimberbell, the felt they had, and that's in some of the kits too. They both look amazing. Amazing. I'm going to give my felt a little shot of spray. Go ahead and cover that up, and it's going to be trim as desired. There we go. The next step, you're going to leave that same steel blue in, and it's going to stitch the stream tack down line, and you're going to trim as desired. Trim as desired says to me, get your curved straight scissors. Curved straight. That's going to be at the end of it, like at the very bottom, so I wouldn't worry about that. So we're going to trim it, and then we're going to do next color that you're going to need, the brown with this word timber. Timber is next up, and it's going to be this kind of I don't know, what would you call this? Just this like warm, toasty brown. Seven minutes into our 61-minute stitch out. These seem pretty equal. The second one might have a little bit more stitching. So this is going to have some twisting and turning, so I'm going to kind of pop it out so I can turn it. Okay, trim as desired. I like to leave about 1/8 of an inch. And I like straight tip scissors because I'm going to have to put this on my lap. Here we go, sitting on my ottoman. Okay. Okay, this bottom part, it's just going to get sewn in, but I'm just going to trim them 1/8 of an inch down here as well. Just in case for some reason it matters, but it shouldn't. All right, there you go. Streamy Stream is done. I don't know what that little guy is doing. I'm going to go ahead and slide this back on. Let's come on back over here. And what's next? After you do the stream, we're going to put in the timber. And it looks like it wants to do the top of the dirt or your ground. We'll call it the ground. That sounds better. Don't you think? Timber. Timber, timber, timber. I felt like I had to get a lot of threads for this that I didn't have. Like I didn't have timber. I didn't have steel blue. I didn't have Oxford. Silver. I didn't have silver. Okay. Here we go. And now it's going to stitch the very top. 3 minutes of stitching and then some detail on the ground too. After this, you're going to stitch the tree trunks, and the tree trunks are going to be in camel. I love the way the felt looks. So pretty. It's like a little poofy. Looks good. So Cam, after this, we're going to stitch this and then we're going to stitch the logs. So this is going to be this step and the next step. Little bit of detail on the ground. It doesn't look like there's any more applique in this one. That was it. The ground, the trailer, and the stream. I feel like there are a lot of people where this is like, this sealed the deal for them. They have RVs, they love to camp. And so they saw this one, they're like, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Okay. We're going to go ahead and just hit start again. This is going to stitch the log 1 fill. It's going to be in timber 2. Okay, now we're going to do the tree trunk. 7 minutes of stitching. So go ahead and put in your camel thread. Tree trunk is big. And while it's stitching that, I might give my Riley Blake rep a call, because that gives me 7 minutes to talk to her. Here we go. You're going to do 7 minutes of this, and then when it's done with this, then you're going to do logs 2. So you're just going to hit start again. Made my phone call. Nobody answered me. It's the end of the day. What do you get? That's what you get. That's what I meant to say. Looking cute. So we're gonna do this whole trunk and then we'll do the log fill. My mother-in-law's probably here. Let me shut that door. All right, go ahead and just hit start and it's gonna do the other logs. Cute. Next step is we're going to put timber back in because it wants to do some more. What does it want to do some more of? The timber is going to be for more logs. So we're going to do the inner part of the logs that you just stitched. Log, loggy, log. I love a good campfire. I mean, that's kind of like, you know, it's part of the whole experience, right? It's having a campfire. Patrick actually bought a propane campfire setup because out here in the West, it can be really dangerous to have a campfire. So, okay, this is the log to be filled. This is step number 16 in the stitch out. And then we're going to put in the brown with the vertical stripe putty. putty is going to be next. And you're going to do putty for, that's going to be for the logs too. And we're going to be working on the fire. Right. Go ahead and put your putty in. This is step number 17 in your stitch out. It's kind of nice because if you get lost, you can look at your screen. And for me, it's saying putty is step 17. Where you have to be careful is when we get to the next set of embroidery designs, then you have to do some math because you're going to have one set of designs plus the next, but right here it says 17 out of 57. It's going to start over again once we start stitching out this one. And so if this one goes up to 25, then number one of this is going to be 26, and so on and so forth. So if you're not sure, you can look right here at that number on the top. 17 steps out of 57. Color changes right here. Color changes. And then we're going to be putting in, I think the next one, it looks like a chicken to me. A chicken. It's marmalade and military gold are going to be the next colors that we're going to be using. Marmalade is this pretty orange for our fire. Right, the flame of fire. Oh, it's the ring of fire, isn't it? That's me making up my own words. A little bit thick there, you can hear it. And what are we putting in next? We're going to put in military gold. And then we're going to put marmalade back in. We're going to put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out. For 25 steps. We are on step number 19 of your stitch out. Let's go ahead and put your marmalade back in. Check your screen again. Check your stitch out list. My stitch out list is saying we are on step 20, and when I look at my instructions, it does say marmalade. So if you get confused, use those numbers on your screen. I get confused all the time. I'm in a constant state of confusion. Does that make you feel so comfortable stitching with me? Okay, here we go. And then after this, we're going to put in our linen. That's going to be for the trailer siding detail. All right, linen thread. Let's get your linen. Da, 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 da. For me, Johnny Cash would be a bucket list person to go see. And I'm really sad that I can't go see him. And I find that my musical tastes have changed. Like when I was younger, I wasn't crazy about Johnny Cash. Now I think he's just the best. But that boat has sailed. Okay, you're going to put the linen in. After the linen, next step is going to be Tide water for the trailer satin outline. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. Oh, I wonder if I should be, let me look at that. You know, this piece right here, I wonder if I should trim it all the way in. Yeah, it does cover that whole thing. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to just kind of trim this back a little bit. So it's not too bulky under there. Trim that back just a little bit more. All right, let's put in your Tide water. My Tide water is getting close to the end. Tide water is one of those colors, I feel like it was in everything. It's not in everything anymore, but it would be in the top 10, I'd say, colors that I've used. Go ahead and hit start. Are you guys ready? Okay. I just want to finish this. I'm getting close. 10. 2 minutes total of this, and then we're gonna put in lead gray. We're gonna do 2 lead gray stitch outs, one for the trailer frame, one for the bumper, and then finally we'll put in the sage. That was quick. Thought that was gonna take a lot longer. So let me get my lead gray. Where are you? Here you are. Lead gray. And just go ahead and hit start again. It's going to do the bumper. And then the last color you're going to put in is sage. Put in your sage green. And this will be dedicated to all those nights by the campfire and all those great memories. Hopefully you've had great memories by the campfire. Oh, that's cute. It's totally textured. All right, I'm going to look at this one more time, make sure I'm putting in the right green. So it's the grass fill, and we're putting in sage. There's just some sprouts on the ground. And that's it. We will be done with block 5. Block 6 is, I guess that one's going to take us the most time, because 61 minutes. And then we'll be at 26 minutes. What is that? It'll be about 35 minutes for the last stitch out. There's not a ton going on in it, but there's a lot of satin stitch and stuff like that. That's going to take a while. And that's it. Let's go on to the next one. All right, I went upstairs and had dinner with my mother-in-law and father-in-law, and now I am back to finish this up. Find your last piece of batting and your last piece of background fabric. Whoop! That looks way too close for me. Huh. Hang on a second, because then it's going to go even further over that. That to me seems it's going to go here and then there. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to cut that. I don't know. That looks closer than before. Okay. To me, something seems off. Huh. And then it'll be another 1/4 inch and then 1/2 inch. I guess that's okay. I'm going to tape this back though, so it doesn't get in the way. Because it's really, we are fussy cutting to the, the outermost line. That's what we're going to be fussy cutting to. So let's go for it. We're just going to keep going. And while it's doing that, I am going to go ahead and spray. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do the next stitch out. It is so unbelievably beautiful here right now. I can't even tell you. Okay, I'm going to skip the next step, which is going to be the tack down and trim for the batting. And then I am going to stitch out that step, which is step number 3. So let's go ahead and stitch this out. While it's doing that, I'm going to spray. Let's let it stitch this. And then we're going to lay down the batting. And while it does some of those big areas of stitching where it's going to take a long time, I'll begin pressing and trimming the tiles that we've already, the ones that we've already stitched out. We'll press and trim those. So then we'll be ready to sew it all together. I'm going to put down my first piece of batting. We're going to go inside the center line. Okay. And then this piece, I'm going to center to the batting. And I'm just going to feel. And once there's about an inch, half an inch all the way around, I'm going to go ahead and push it down. And let's do that last step, which is going to be the tack down. And then let's get our thread for quilting. So we are on this step right here. We just laid down the background fabric. We're doing the tack down. Do not trim the fabric. And then we're going to do the quilting stitch. Calls for shadow, but I've been using Applique Black, which is Hala Shimmer. And I am going to put this in the upper thread guide, and I'm going to watch myself put it in because I swear it popped out. I'm definitely in number 2. Okay, I'm ready to thread. All right, I put away my sage thread. Now I'm threading my Applique Black Hala Shimmer. I am definitely in the thread guide number 2. And you're going to just, well, after we do this, the quilting stitch, it wants us to put in shadow for some of those placement lines. Quite honestly, the first placement line is going to be for the ground. So we'll just have you use shadow for all of that. So I'll put the shadow in after this. Although I don't know if it has to be. don't know if it has to be shadow. Because it's going to be a bunch of tack downs and trims. All right. I'm going to put in shadow. And first thing we're going to do is the placement line for the ground. Okay, placement line, get your brown piece of prepped fabric or else just your other fabric, and you're going to do tack down and trim. Mine is pre-cut and ready to go. "29 minutes in, we have about half an hour left. I'll pop this up, pull this back. Let me get my little matty mat. I'm just going to slide it under. I can tell it's all the way over. And let's start on one side and we'll just go ahead. Just make sure it all looks good. That looks good. It's pretty hot now. Oop, hang on. Gonna move this out of the way so I can get my hand under here. All right, there we go. That one is down. Let's do the next. I'm going to skip a step because I do not need this tack down and trim. Next step, this is going to be, I think, the placement line for the camper. I wonder if we have to do this one. If I could just lay this down, wouldn't that be great? Just like that. I'm pretty sure that's where it's going to go. Oh, well, let's do the placement stitch anyways. Okay, I don't know how to use this. There we go. I struggle with my phone. I struggle. Had an alarm going off. I didn't know how to turn it off. That was kind of pointless, right? We knew exactly where this was going to go. And put it over here on this side so it won't be in my way. I'm gonna slide my mat under. This Under the whole way? Yeah. Okay. This would be a good time to maybe take it off and use a full-size iron, right? Because this is a lot. But this should still work, so. This makes me go, full-size iron, please. And what the great iron is, like my Panasonic 360, because it'll fit into a 5x7 hoop. And it'll also fit into this hoop, no problem. This one, of course, is bigger. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm going to pull out the mat. I'm going to slide this back on. And let's do our next step. Next step for me is going to be to skip the tack down and the trim because we're fused. And now we're going to do the placement for the door. Okay, the door is orange. So grab your orange. Here he is. Slide it back again. Here we go. My thing's totally off. Just going to slide my mat on. However you want to put them on. All right. I'm going to take the mat out, slide her back on. What's next? We're going to skip the tack down and trim. That's the tack down and trim. Placement stitches for the windows. And if you want to use your vinyl now, this would be a good time to use it. I think I'm going to do the 2 windows on the side with the special vinyl, but not this one because I didn't put it on the other part of the window. I think that would look weird. Okay, so let's go ahead and just fuse first. This one down first. This one. And then I have the little itty bitty. This is getting thick. So just think about it having all that SF101. And now it has the, I did put a mat underneath. Heat and Bond Light. And then we're going to sew it into this seam on the top. one right here. Okay, you got to pay attention to what's stitching out because there's going to be a sewing machine over here on the left, and I want to do the sewing machine before I do the tack down. You know what I mean? Because I don't want the vinyl. I don't want the vinyl to go on top of that. Or I want the vinyl to go on top, not underneath. All right. You're not doing the tack down and trim. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let it stitch right on the outside of that. And what color are we doing that with? We are doing that with linen. So let me go ahead and put my linen thread in. Not even going to try to put vinyl down there because I didn't on the upper part, so I want it to match. But we'll put the vinyl on the 2 other windows. It's my little spatula. Make sure nothing budges. I think we're good. And then it wants to stitch the trailer siding detail. So we're going to leave the linen and let it stitch all of the siding. You know what I don't like is that I feel like we shouldn't have done the shadow, because that's what I feel like I see there. Is that not the shadow? I'm not sure. I think we should have just done that in linen. Oh, it did want that. Guess what? It did want that in linen, and I missed it. Okay, let me cut this thread. I'm going to put the next bobbin in. I missed that. So, it's okay. It fit pretty well. So much thread left. Too bad there's no way for the sensor to, I'm going to go back. Let's go back 5. That doesn't sound right. I'm going to see if I can just get to the edge. See if it works out. Okay, went away. And then we're going to put in the timber to stitch the ground detail. I think it's timber. I'll check before we start stitching it. The square with a square, that is timber. So we're going to use timber. Well, I didn't like that. Let's put in the timber. Timber is going to be the ground detail. 2 minutes of stitching. I'm going to heat up my iron over here. We're going to start pressing out the completed blocks. All right. Sorry. Hang on. Let me shut that door. Okay, so that is the ground detail. Now it wants you to do the trunk fill. So we know our trunk is camel. Let's go ahead and put in camel. It's just a minute of stitching. We are 36 minutes in. My iron's heating up, so I can do some efficient and effective pressing. Okay, while it's doing that, let's come on over here. I'm going to grab the blocks that we've done, and I'm going to put them face down. I'm going to go ahead and grab, I have a spray bottle. What I have is Best Press Secret Sauce, which is half Best Press, half Terreal Magic when I really need some extra body. And then I have a bottle that has water in it. I'm going to spray it from the back. And you always want to press before you trim. I press into a wool mat. I have a wool mat on top of a wool mat because if you're using moisture, the steam will go through, and if you're on top of a cutting mat, you can warp your cutting mat. So, and you just want to press it until it's dry. I like to press in one direction, and then I might go in the other direction. Looks amazing. I love it. And I love working with the muslin because I feel like it presses out so well too. Like better than no-show mesh. And I feel like no-show mesh is more plasticky, and this is just fabric, right? Oh, doesn't that look amazing? Okay, where are we at over here? Now it wants us to do stitch the trailer jack fill, and it wants that in black. Black. Here we go. Let me take out my camel. Come on. Black. Makes it go much faster. Everything goes faster when you're doing two things at once, right? Okay, here we go. And then we're gonna sew, we're gonna do the sewing machine. I'm looking at my instructions to see when we do the window outline. Oh, the window outline's gonna be in orange. So we have a ways to go for that. So there's one hooping that's at the top of the hoop that's on there right now, and then 2 in the hoop. So this is all I have right now. You really want those outside edges to be nice and flat. If you feel like you have to give it a press from, oh my God, is that so cute? A press from the front side, you can do that too. You might have to protect what's in, what's been stitched. Okay, now it's sewing the sewing machine, and then we're gonna put in lead gray. And lead gray is gonna be the next 4 steps. Lead gray. Now, as far as trimming goes, I'm going to be trimming my blocks, and I can never remember. So I have it here on my spreadsheet, but we're going to do 5 by 6.75. So if you forget, I did put it on the spreadsheet. Here, we're just going to go back and forth right now. I'm going to put in my lead gray. So much easier when the camera's way up here, not in between me and what I'm stitching. Just want to make sure I had it right. So it's going to do this, stitch the window detail, then the trailer tongue fill, and then the trailer frame detail. Sorry, the door handle. So all of those things are going to be happening. What happened? Oh, that was so quick. That's what happened. Okay, now it's going to do the trailer tongue. I didn't even know that that was a thing, but now I do. And I'm going to trim this. While that's going on, let's trim these up. Rotating that, I'm going to use just a regular ruler. We're going to do 5 by 6.75. And, you really do want to do a color you can see. So I'm going 5 to the left and the right of the stitching, and then 6.75 top to bottom. That actually looks pretty good. Okay, here we go. flip it, and then I'll do the next. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, at the machine, I'm just going to hit start again because it's going to be lead gray again. I just love it. So great. Okay, 5 from either side of the line, left and right. And then 6.75 from top to bottom. This one's pretty close. I'm going to do 2 cuts. Hold the whole thing, rotate, and then cut. Then I'm going to do the other one. Oh, so cute. They must go like that, huh? All right, where are we at? Let's see. Where are you at? Door handle. Just hit start. You're still using lead. And then the next step will be this one up top where we're going to stitch the door satin outline. So we're going to be using our linen. That's going to be next. I have one more to trim. It is cute. I love it. I mean, if I were picking colors, maybe I would have done like a blue sky, right? Hang on, I'm just changing out my thread. I'm just putting in the linen. I'm not even going to switch my camera angle. If you guys are okay with that, we're going to put in linen and it's going to do the outline of the door. You guys just keep staring at that amazingly cute block. And 3 minutes of stitching. Here we go. So what I'm learning here is do not match to the thread color. You will regret it like I am regretting. Make sure that tack down is a color you can see. I did a gray, so it's a little hard for me to see. And I'm not even on the side I want it to be. I'm a Creative Grids girl all the way. Those are the rulers that I really, really like. Looking at my spacing all the way around. All right. Here we go. Let's do our cuts. You want a rotating mat so that you don't have to pick up your whole ruler and your piece. You can just turn it. And if I could have cut all 4 sides, I would have just left it. But I was going to have to pick up. I can only do 2 at a time. That is a little off. we go. Is that just so cute? Ah, it is amazing. I love it. Love it, love it. Love it. Okay, get your Tide water. It's going to do the outline of the RV. Tide water. Two minutes of stitching. And then what is the orange with an X? Orange with an X is mango smoothie. Mango smoothie is next. And then lead gray. Here's my mango smoothie. Let me feel how thick. Ooh, that feels pretty thick. After this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more steps. Okay, it is going to do the stitching around the windows, and it looks like a nice chunky outline stitch, satin stitch that's going to go around it. I'm actually going to kind of cut these so they are going to fit. So let me go ahead. Remember, I'm using my fancy vinyl. And I'll just kind of hold it down with my spatula or my scissors. I want these. Okay, let me see if that worked. Is that going to be okay? I think that's going to be okay. Okay, and I need to... I'll use my little spatula to kind of hold that down. And then I need one right here. And I could measure this, but that would be, that would make too much sense. So I'm going to go ahead and... Okay, it is going to be sewing down the outline thick satin stitch. I'm going to go ahead and slide this on. I'm going to put in my mango smoothie. And then I am going to assist. I'm going to assist by holding it down. I don't want to spray it because I don't want to get it goopy. The other thing you want to do before we stitch it down, I'm going to go ahead and release any threads that might be in the way like this. Or just make sure that those are facing to the outside and nothing is facing to the inside. Oh, I just swept both my pieces on the ground. Oh, actually just one. All right, here we go. And you know what else I'm going to do? I am going to hold my start stop so it goes nice and slow. Oh, you can't see anything. Hang on. There, can you see? It's going pretty slowly around the outside of this, huh? I'm going to let it do the outside because it looks like that's what it's doing first. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and slide this back under. That was like watching the grass grow. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see. Hopefully it does a zigzag into and starts holding this down. All right, here we go. This is what I want. I'm going to stop it because I need to get my hand out of the way. Let's see if we can just do this. Okay, here we go. Okay, we are good now. Might have to be careful when it comes over to the other window. 3 minutes of stitching. After it does the 2 windows, then we're going to put the lead gray in again. It's going to do the step and the wheel well. Fun, right? Super fun. We're going to have to watch this though. We'll stop it once it comes over to the other side. Okay, once it goes over to the other side, I'm gonna push the start stop button. Hopefully it does like the outline. I might let it try and see if it just does that outline first. Let's see if it's gonna just go around it. Okay, looks like it just went around it, so I'm going to take this and pop it under. See if we can just... All right. I think I got kind of lucky. All right, so that's done. And get your lead gray. We're going to put the lead gray in next. It would have been nice to put it here too, but I think that would have done us in if we had one more layer here of vinyl, or 2, 1 from each side. I think it just would have been too much. We have 11 more minutes of stitching to go. I'm putting in lead gray. All right, go ahead and just hit start again. This is going to do the wheel well fill. And we're going to put black in. Black, lead gray, black, and then sage. Ooh, the tire fill. That's all black stitching. That's going to take a while. Okay, 5 minutes of stitching. I don't know. I go, we probably should have just put a piece of black fabric in, don't you think? It's a lot of black stitching. Just saying. Good thing that's not in the seam. see a couple areas where like there's a dot where it didn't quite cover. I'm just going to take a Sharpie to it. I'll just leave it. Whichever. All right, let me go ahead and take out that thread. Look how close we came to finishing this thread. Guess what? I'm tossing it. I know. You know me. I don't throw away anything. I just threw that away. That is pretty close to done. And sometimes when you go to the end of a roll or a cone or whatever you want to call it, sometimes the thread crosses over and gets tight. So we're just going to eliminate that. This is going to be the hubcap fill, and then we're going to stitch the hubcap detail. Oh my God, you don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull that thread out. I'm going to finish it. The one that I just threw away, I'm going to finish it. Because I think this is just enough to finish. I can't help myself. Should probably trim that thread there, but I'm not going to. One minute of stitching. Okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm throwing it away. For real this time. Because I have a brand new spool. Black and then sage for the plant. I don't even feel like trimming that thread. I'm getting sleepy. I went to bed late last night and then I got up really early this morning. And so I'm starting to get sleepy. I wanted to finish this, but I don't think I'm going to be able to finish it. Not tonight. Tomorrow. But it's looking so good. Love it. Love it. Okay, let's go ahead and put in our sage. I think I could have gotten away with using the rest of that spool. No regrets. No regrets. Don't even think about it. Let it go, Jeannie. Let it go. Let it go. Don't think about that piece of thread. Okay, stitch the plant. Little plant. There's going to be one by the wheel, and then there's going to be one in the bottom right corner. And that is it. 3 more minutes of stitching. This was our last color. I'm going to tidy up and get ready for bed. Okay, so I am not going to stitch it together tonight because I am tired. But what I am going to do is I am going to finish trimming them. So let's trim them out. Press and trim. And then I'll sew them together tomorrow. Here we go. I'm going to cut these apart from the back side. How's your view? Your view is okay. Right down the middle. All right, water first. I'm almost crying upstairs. I don't know why. All right, one direction. And then we'll go to the other direction. Looks good. Ooh, shoot. Forgot my tape on here, but it's okay. Now I gotta press that again. Dun, da, da, dun, da, da, dun, 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 dun. Remember when that was like all you heard everywhere? The music from Frozen? That was such a hit, huh? Such a good song. Okay. Get my rotating mat. 5 6 3/4. So, and I hope I remember next time, you definitely want a color you can see. Here we go. cute. Press and trim and press and trim. Love it. Last one. The dogs are so funny because at night they'll start telling us they want to go upstairs. Oops, did you see that move? That's something that's great about pop rollers because they have the opening. So if it's thick or something pushes up, they don't really budge. But this, you got to be a little bit more careful. I'm going to hold the whole thing. I'm going to do one cut. Hold the whole thing down. Second cut. And you're going to kind of fussy cut the best you can. But I say don't cut on that line. And you want to cut to 5 inches the skinny way and 6 3/4 the long way. All right. Here's what we have. And I'm not going to sew it together right now just because, like I said, I'm getting sleepy. Oh my goodness, but it makes me want to just sew it all together, doesn't it? That is going to be June. I'll do another video just sewing it together. Probably do it tomorrow night. And thanks for joining me for the stitching. And I will see you later. Bye, guys.